Some men fall in love with women over 60 for only 3 reasons, and love may not be one of them. If a man says he loves you, stands by your side, embraces your children, cares for you when you're sick, would you believe it's real? What if I told you it might not be love, but something else entirely? What if, beneath the kindness, he's not giving, but taking? Not protecting you, but positioning himself to use your heart, your home, or your stability for his own needs. Hi, it's Vernon again. And in today's video, we're going to uncover the 3 hidden reasons making men pursue women over 60. Because if you're not careful, you might be offering your heart to someone who only sees a safe harbor. So don't be a victim in relationship over 60. But before we start, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel so you can follow more deep reflections on love and relationships after 60. Let's begin with the first reason. One that may not be obvious at first glance, but reveals itself when you look beneath the surface. Reason number 1. Stability seeking not love, but refuge. This is something my own younger brother once admitted to me, after finally giving his ex-wife her freedom. For months, he told himself he wanted to find love again, a fresh start. But one quiet morning over coffee, he looked me in the eye and said, "I'm not looking for love anymore, Vern. I'm tired. I just want someone who'll be there." What he craved wasn't connection, it was comfort. A peaceful home, someone to share dinner with, a partner who might notice if he didn't wake up one morning. He wasn't dreaming of romance, he was looking for relief. And when I heard that from my brother, something in me shifted. I realized that what many call love at this stage of life might, in fact, be something far quieter and sometimes more self-serving. It reminded me of what Seneca once wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Often, it is not love that brings a man to your doorstep. After 60, it is the dread of being alone with his thoughts, of no longer being needed, of fading quietly into irrelevance. So when a man says he wants to be with you, listen carefully, not just to his words, but to what they protect him from. Is it truly you he sees, or the sanctuary your presence offers? There is no shame in seeking stability. We all do. But if one person is offering love and the other is seeking shelter, imbalance is inevitable. So how can a woman over 60 tell if a man truly loves her? The answer, though subtle, lies in how he listens when you speak, how he respects your solitude, and whether he invests in your joy, not just his comfort. A man who loves you will not simply occupy your space, but will expand your spirit. As Carl Jung once said, "Where love rules, there is no will to power, and where power predominates, love is lacking." If he seeks to control, to settle, or to be mothered, then it's not love. It's dependency wearing a sweeter name. So, ask yourself, quietly and honestly, is he building a life with you, or settling into one you've already built? If that question stirs something inside you, pause and reflect, or leave a comment. Your story might help another woman see clearly. So what do we take from this? Stability is not the enemy, but mistaking it for love can lead to quiet heartbreak. When comfort masquerades as connection, it can keep us warm, but also alone. Now let's move forward. The second reason may seem flattering on the surface, but it carries a deeper cost you need to understand. Reason number 2. Ego fuel, admiration mistaken for affection. Imagine a man standing before a mirror, not to see his flaws, but to admire what age hasn't yet taken from him. Now imagine that mirror is you. Some men seek women over 60 not because they cherish their wisdom or companionship, but because your admiration affirms their fading sense of worth. You become the audience to a performance he no longer gets elsewhere. As Aristotle once noted, the friend is another self. But in this case, you're not treated as a true equal. You are a reflection, not a partner. And that illusion, though flattering to him, can become exhausting for you. He thrives on compliments about how well he's aged, how strong he still seems, how lucky you feel to have him. But ask yourself, does he see you with the same reverence? What you need to understand is this. Some men are not in love with you, they are in love with how you make them feel about themselves. And if you're not careful, your love becomes their mirror, reflecting back an image they crave to believe in. Women after 60 must learn to ask, does this man lift me up the way I lift him? Or am I simply his emotional fuel station? One sign to watch for is how he reacts when your attention shifts, when you focus on your passions, your friends, or even your silence. A man who loves you will celebrate your wholeness. A man who needs your admiration will feel threatened by it. If your presence exists only to remind him of his value, then where is yours being seen, nourished, lifted? This kind of man doesn't want to grow with you. He wants to be admired by you, and that is not the same thing as love. What makes this especially dangerous is that admiration can feel deceptively similar to affection, until it's not. Admiration, when one-sided, creates an echo chamber where only his needs are heard and only his insecurities are tended to. Over time, it silences your own voice until your emotional world orbits entirely around his. As Simone de Beauvoir once observed, one is not born but rather becomes a woman. And if we take that further, it means we must constantly remake ourselves in truth, not in reflection. If you are constantly becoming what he needs to see, then who is becoming you? True love is not a spotlight. It's a shared space of light where both are seen, both are valued. Don't confuse being his mirror with being his muse. Now, see, which brings us to the third reason. It's one of the most dangerous because it hides behind gestures of generosity. But make no mistake, it's not about love. It's about leverage. Reason number 3. Financial targeting, when he wants you for your resources, not your heart. This may sound almost humorous at first, but there's a particular kind of man who doesn't chase youth or passion. He chases peace of mind, already paid for. He steps into your life not for who you are, but for what you've gathered around you. The stability, the pension, the quiet comfort of a woman who survived life's tempests and now rests in her own hard-won calm. Has anyone here ever met a man like this? Someone who saw your life not as love to join, but as a lifestyle to access. If you have, comment, yes, reason number 3, below. I want to know that what I'm warning about is truly reaching the women it's meant to protect, because silence is how these patterns stay hidden. He appears kind, maybe humble, often a little worn down by life. He tells you about past struggles, failed ventures, and heartbreaks. It feels honest. It draws out your empathy. And that's where it begins. He observes, not with urgency, but with quiet curiosity, how you move through your day, the rhythm of your habits, the strength in your solitude. Little by little, he starts to reflect those patterns, slipping into the spaces you've carved out for yourself. Not to co-create something new, but to gently nestle into what already exists, hoping it might hold him too. It doesn't come with pressure. It comes cloaked in tenderness. He suggests moving in, not with demands, but with reassurances just for convenience, he says. Then come the suggestions to share expenses, just to make life easier. And without realizing it, you wake up one morning and the lines between yours and his have blurred. What was once solely yours is now quietly, and sometimes permanently, merged. Not by force, but by a steady rhythm of emotional suggestion that feels like care, but functions like strategy. And here lies one of the deepest vulnerabilities in love after 60, when loneliness meets habit and longing meets routine. Many women, having spent decades nurturing others, are quick to open space for someone new, not because they lack strength, but because giving is their first language. The problem arises when giving becomes a doorway, and the other person enters without ever asking what it costs. At this age, love should be about companionship, not convenience. When someone blends into your life so seamlessly that you begin to adjust yourself around their comfort, pause, ask, am I choosing this? Or am I being gently maneuvered toward it? As we grow older, our hearts become softer, but our wisdom must become sharper, not to keep others out, but to know who truly deserves a place within. As Epictetus said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. But men like this haven't learned to want less. They've learned to attach themselves to more. So ask yourself this, not with suspicion, but with clarity. Is he drawn to the woman you are, or the life you've built? There's a world of difference between a man who wants to grow beside you and one who wants to reap where he hasn't sown. A man who values you will protect your independence. He will bring his own strength into the relationship, not quietly absorb yours. Conclusion. At this point in life, love should be clear, not confusing. It should be a place of rest, not calculation. And most of all, it should honor the journey you've taken to become who you are now. You've lived long enough to know that not every smile means sincerity, that kindness can carry hidden costs, and that sometimes the heart must be guarded, not out of fear, but out of respect for the life you've worked so hard to build. So, take everything we've explored today, not as a warning to close off, but as a compass to navigate with greater wisdom, the kind of wisdom that only comes from experience, from scars, and from survival. And if you're considering love again after 60, remember this. Love at this age should be like a well-worn book, rich with meaning, familiar with silence, and honest in its pages. You are not here to rescue or to be rescued. You are here to be met with truth, with grace, and with mutual effort. Protect your heart like you would a sacred heirloom. Before letting someone new into your life, ask, does this person bring peace or confusion? Do I feel stronger with him or slowly smaller? Do I choose him out of joy or out of fear? A meaningful relationship at this stage should add to your life, not subtract from it. It should inspire laughter, not replace it with obligation. It should nourish your spirit, not drain your strength. When you feel unsure, turn inward. You've been here before. You've learned, you've endured, and you've risen. Trust that wisdom. It's your truest guide. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. And in love, our thoughts shape our thresholds of what we allow, what we excuse, and what we protect. Let your wisdom tint those boundaries with self-respect and quiet strength. As we age, we carry wisdom not just in our minds, but in the quiet caution of our hearts. Let that wisdom guide you. Let it remind you that your value isn't in what you offer, it's in who you are. If this message felt familiar or helped clarify something in your heart, I'd love to hear from you. Type a quick comment, even just a "Yes, I see it now," and let's keep this space real and supportive. And if someone you care about might need these words too, don't hesitate to send it their way. Thanks for watching till now. It's Vernon, and see you again.